News for you right now, new at 6. A lot of things are more expensive these days, and food certainly is one of them. We're all paying a lot more at the grocery store, but is this because of inflation, or is it adding to store profits? That's what Connecticut's Attorney General is trying to find out. Our chief political reporter, Susan Raff, is live tonight in Rocky Hill with more on what all of this is about. Susan?
Mark, we all know that during the pandemic, we saw food prices skyrocket. And sadly, now, just a few years later, everything that we're buying at the grocery store seems to be just as expensive. And all along, we keep hearing that inflation is to blame. But could there be other reasons?
Pay more for bread, meat especially. People have problems, buying this stuff, and something has to be done.
Thomas Barry feels like most of us. He's spending more and more money on groceries. Basic things like eggs and meat are still pretty expensive. Americans have been paying 30% more for beef, pork, and poultry than they were 3 years ago. Is it because of inflation? A report released by the Federal Trade Commission questions that. It found the increase in grocery store prices is due to stores raising revenue, not inflation, although the report did not look at the exact cause of the increase.
The state of Connecticut is conducting an inquiry into grocery and food prices.
Attorney General William Tong says food is a necessity. He wants grocery stores in Connecticut to explain if the increases are due to inflation or profit. However, the Connecticut Food Association says what are profits, net, gross? Either way, it's comparing apples and oranges. All of these businesses have different costs and expenses. They also say there's no solid data to support claims against any Connecticut retailers.
How much does it cost to get that product to market?
Republican State Representative Dave Rutigliano is blasting Democrats. He owns restaurants and says it's all about government and inflation.
Those grocery stores have an awful lot of refrigerators. As you all know, you've seen your electric bills. This is not exactly an inexpensive state to operate in.
Marlene Fabio says going out is sometimes cheaper than cooking and doesn't think prices will come down.
They're blaming it on the pandemic, and the pandemic is over. So let's get real.
She sounds a little bit cynical, but I think who can blame her? After all, we all go to the grocery store. Now, Connecticut's Attorney General is trying to push this one step further. There's a new amendment that could be taken up this legislative session, which would give Tong more power, so he would be able to get information, not only costs and profits from grocery stores, but suppliers as well. We're live in Rocky Hill tonight. Susan Raff, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, an interesting